Okay, bist du bereit?
Ja.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Emotional Wisdom Podcast. Today with a very special guest, the 14-year-old Darina from Vorarlberg. Yes, and we're gonna do the interview in English. And yeah, I could have never imagined this to do this when I was 14 years old. So yeah, thank you for your courage. Yes, so we are back. I'm gonna put down my mic. How are you doing today, Darina?
A little bit nervous, but yeah, I'm fine.
A little bit nervous because of the English.
Yes. Yes.
No, don't worry. If you don't know the word, you just say it in German, and I also always often looking for words, so don't worry about it.
Great.
Okay. So, what did you do today?
I was swimming and relaxing. Yeah.
Good. Summer holidays.
Yes.
So you're feeling good?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Amazing. So Darina, maybe I got to know you in the last days a little bit, and it was very beautiful, very touching to hear your stories and also really your wisdom. And I was really impressed by how open you can speak about your feelings, also about very difficult situations, about your emotions. And yeah, I got a lot of insights, and yeah, I'm very thankful for these conversations we had. And it was a wish of mine to share this also with our listeners, because we talk a lot about emotions and relationships and these topics, triggers, and yeah, of course we realized that it has a lot to do with our past, with our childhood, with our youth. And now that's so cool that you are exactly in this phase also. That's really, yes, influencing us in a big way. And now to have the possibility to talk about these things with a 14-year-old, it's a rare opportunity, and I'm very thankful for it. Maybe you can introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yours.
So yes, I'm Darina. I'm 14 years old, as you said. I'm from Austria, and in my free time, I'm in acting class and I write my own books.
Wow, I'm already impressed. When I was in your age, honestly, I couldn't. I couldn't. I would have started to stutter, and I couldn't answer this. So, yeah, you're one of a kind. You're one of a kind. Wow. So you do acting class, and you're writing. So you are writing. What do you write?
Books. Yeah, books.
What kind of books?
Um, Mostly a little bit dark books. Um, some of my emotions, a little bit fantasy. Yeah.
Wow, you said dark books. Maybe you can you can share a little bit of your dark side.
Um, yes. So my books aren't like rainbows and ponytails. It's a little bit. Yeah. It shows a little bit the dark side of life, and yeah.
Wow, wow, wow. Hold on. You are writing about the dark side of life and you are 14 years old. Like what happened to you?
I don't know. I started writing when I learned it, and it just happened. I had these fantasies in my mind, and then I started write it down to paper, and yeah, and since then I'm writing this, and I don't know where it came from.
Wow. And what drew you to, you said also you're not writing about fairy tales and ponies only, but is there what attracts you to the dark side, or why you writing about it?
I don't know. Like I can express it, and I can show people that it's not always happy, and there can be some dark moments or some sad moments in our life, and yeah. So I want to share it to others.
Wow, that's beautiful. I think Yeah, it's difficult to talk about these things, but I also agree. Yeah, it's a part of life, and I think to acknowledge this, I think then it will bring us more, maybe more light and more, also appreciating maybe more the rainbows and the ponytails,
Yes.
which we also don't want to miss, of course.
Yes.
Okay, so how many books you already wrote?
So I started one, it was almost finished, and then I switched and started another one. So I haven't finished exactly one, but I'm at the end. So yeah, so I'm writing currently two books, and one of them is almost finished.
Wow! And you say a book like how many pages can I imagine? I was I was already I was already overwhelmed in my school when they said write 330 words. I was always like cheating to get the real count.
So also me in school, I wrote always too much. So almost my teacher said, "You write too much. Stop it. Calm down." Um, but I don't know. It's hard to say how many pages there are, but I think it's a little bit bigger book. Yeah.
Roughly, yeah. How many pages?
500.
No.
I don't know
Wow. Okay.
because
Okay.
I have so much in my mind and I think I can express it so much and can write so much down and yeah.
Wow. Wow. That's beautiful. So I don't know if you know, but in our company, Lumi, we are creating like an app that should help us through difficult moments
Mhm.
because we also acknowledge these difficult parts and we also want to share more awareness, but not only share awareness and education like in this podcast, but also really to help people solve problems, to solve difficult moments in our lives, and usually they happen in our close relationships,
Yes.
like with our parents and with our partners, and um, you know and one of the main things we use is really writing.
Mhm.
So people write down difficult moments, and then with the help of technology and AI, we we transform them into a story. And through this story, we 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 are able to get a different view and learn from these moments.
Mhm.
Sounds like what you were doing is very similar.
Yes, it is. It sounds pretty cool. Yeah.
Can you maybe speak a little bit about how writing helps you to transform difficult moments?
It calms me down because I'm thinking a lot. I have a lot in my mind, and sometimes it really hurts my pain, my mind because it's so much, and at such a young age. And when I write it, oh, my mind after I write is like it just disappears. I have like a free mind. I can calm down, and yeah, it's nice.
Wow, that's really powerful, because I think a lot of people struggle with that there is so much in the mind, and
Yeah.
this is not always nice. And then it's beautiful to hear how it helps you, and I think also it helps a lot of people. And what you are doing is not you're not just writing down what's in your mind, but you're also really creating a story. How do you like bring your moments, your own difficult moments into the stories? Are they influenced by it, or how would you describe that?
Yes, some of my emotions, some of my past is in the book, but I try to like switch it a little bit up and use my own, uh, own imagination. Yes.
Beautiful. And so you use the power of the imagination,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
the power of the imagination to create the stories and also to process the stories.
Yes.
And when you do this, does this also help you afterwards to think maybe differently about what happened, or what do you have a feeling that it helps you in some ways if you do that?
Yes, it does. It it's like I have so much from my past that really hurts me, and when I write it down, it just like disappears, and it's really free. I feel really happy when I do it, and it's a pretty moment in my life. And yeah.
Nice. That's beautiful. We are really literally trying to do the same thing. But most people they don't write stories, but yeah, then we can create them for them with their input of their moments. And so they are also able maybe to see them in a different light. So for in my dreamy view of the world, you mention way too much pain and difficult moments in your life. For a 14-year-old, it hurts me a little bit. But do you want to share maybe some of it, maybe some challenging moments or some moments that really, I don't know, like really impacted you?
Yes, so I had a hard time in school. I had a lot of fake friends, and my parents got divorced at my age. I think I was 7, 8. Um, had a lot of problems with my family, had a lot of health problems. I had some problems in my lung when I was younger. And yeah, it's pretty much, and it still haunts me since today. And yeah.
And yeah, that's a lot, that's way too much. And but I could also like resonate with a lot of things that you said. Also my parents are divorced. Also at a very young age, I was a little bit older, 11 or 10. And also I had very difficult moments in my life with mobbing in school. mm, do you how how could you deal with that? What helped you in these moments?
So I can't talk really about my emotions. I'm really bad at it, but then one day I just opened up to some really important people to me, and it really felt really relieving to let it go. And yeah, it's talk. I can really share with everyone, talk about the problems because it really helps.
Wow. Yeah, that's a that's a really really, yes, interesting statement, from a 14-year-old. But that's very beautiful because it seems like that, you know, maybe maybe it's only you, but maybe I hope so that people or that the young people in general they become more aware of it. So you also told me about the generation alpha. What's your impression? Is this only you that who is so aware of what's going on, that's also aware of what helps, talking and writing, reflecting stories? Or do you think is this something that, yeah, that you could generalize for the whole generation of alpha?
So I don't think I'm the only one. I think there are a lot of more people in my generations who also think like me. But yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
What generation alpha is what?
It's it's a little bit weird. Some of the people it's special. We are special generation. You when we yeah, you can feel that we're the new ones, and yeah, it's yeah.
And what age is this? Like when do you start counting into the generation alpha?
I think to at 20 2010, from 2010 to since yeah to this day. It's so like I think when you're 14 to
Zero. Zero.
yeah.
Almost.
I'm not good at math.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. No, it started okay. So it started with 2010. That's
Yeah.
already explains who is part of this generation.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. And what's your impression? Do many people in your age, in your class, do you think they also struggle with these difficulties, with emotions, with mobbing, with mm, pains from the past?
I think so. I just think that especially my age, they just don't impress it. I think they uh, like have it in them, but they don't talk about it because some may think it's like they are weak or something when they do this, especially boys.
Yeah, I get this. So nothing really changed, since my childhood. It was the same.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, and are you able to talk about difficult things with friends or people that are in the same age?
It's hard. I did it. I regret to talk about it because some people used it against me, and it's hard. It's really hard. So I rather talk about my problems with someone older, someone who I trust, really trust, and someone from my family. Or yeah,
So it sounds like that it's also, yeah, that it's also that the understanding maybe of how important this is also maybe not there with with the with the people in your environment. That's just maybe too much for them to also to handle, or that they are not willing to go there yet. Yes. And when you think back, for example, of the time in school, what were what were moments that really impacted you and really shaped the view of your world? And how do you think the school time like made you the person you are today?
I think so. As I said, it was a really hard time. Um, there were a lot of friends who weren't my friends, and it just, yeah, it was really hard. It's hard to talk about it. There were some, yeah, like I said, bullying. Not just me, I think other also experienced it. And the problem was that the teachers didn't really do something about it. They talked once, but then nothing. And it just really hurts, especially when I think that maybe there are other kids out there who are going through the same pain as me, and it really hurts me. And that's where, yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah, like I think everyone who experienced it know how really like it really hurts the soul, and also like to trust people and to also trust life. So yeah, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry that you experienced this. And but I hope, maybe also with this and further in your life and with your stories, you will, I think you can be, yeah, really also a messenger for yeah, that maybe this doesn't repeat, or that it that we can help people also in the same situation. Is there something that helped you in these situations?
At first, nothing. I really cried myself to sleep. It was really a hard time. But when I opened up, as I said, talk with someone, it really helped me. They gave me solutions, what I can do, and yeah, it really helped me. So I just can share to everyone, really talk because it really helps.
Okay, so talking, the number one thing is just to
Yeah,
get it
it's
off a
really.
little bit. And how were you able to communicate this also, for example, with the teachers in school, or also maybe was there someone who was a little bit trying to intermediate with maybe the the kids that are bullying, that are usually also like really hurt and they don't know really what they're doing, or also with your parents? Was there a communication there?
So with the teachers, yes, but so I talked with them. My parents talked with them, and other kids who were also going through the same as me. But the teachers talked with the students who did it. But it's really hard because students my age, they are like, they don't really realize it, what they done. They think it's just fun. They think it's funny. So the teacher couldn't really do something about it. And with my parents, yeah, I talked with them. With my mother, with my father, it's a really bit hard to talk about that because he's like a person who doesn't really understand these things. With my mother, I talked about it, um, and yes, but we didn't really find a solution to this all. And so yeah, I just said stay strong and go through this.
Wow, that's also I don't know. It's a little bit scary because you communicated to the people that are in charge of the spaces, of the people that create the space, like the teachers, in school, and they are not able to. They have. It sounds like they have no plan actually how to deal with that. Yes. Was there in general education when you think about in the school time maybe of how your mind is working, how your emotions are working, how your body is working, just how you operate yourself, and maybe also how you can handle yourself. Was there education about this ever in your life?
So in school, I think one day we talked about this. We also had a workshop about bullying, but it was one time, and it didn't really help because lots of my classmates just thought it was funny because they think, yeah, no school, we have a workshop. Um, but no, not really where we could learn about our emotions or what we can do about it. So yeah, I would have wished that it was so because it would really help me much more.
Yes, it's interesting. I also had the same experience. I don't remember. I don't even remember having ever had a bullying workshop. So it's already progress, like little bit. One day you remember one day of education. Um, so yeah. Um, so we could say that still, also in your school, that there is no real space for expressing one's own issues or one's own struggles. Mm, are there moments in your school time where you felt, I don't know, like afraid or pressured? Um, yes, in certain situations, and were there also moments where you felt there's a support that that the people in charge also notice, oh, this is a pressure situation for the student, or maybe also the opposite. So yeah, maybe you can speak about it.
So yes, for example, in PE, physical education, um, I was a girl who was literally scared of everything. I had many anxieties and all stuff like this, and then I always was scared of this subject because I wasn't the fittest in the class, and then we had, for example, climb up somewhere and jump down. And I was really scared of these things. Said my teacher, no, I can't do it. I don't think I can do it. And she really said, yeah, you can do it. She's a nice person, but she didn't understand that I really was scared of this and not just a little bit. I was really afraid. And instead of saying me, okay, yeah, you can try another time or something like this, she said, yeah, but then I have to give you a bad grade for the day. And for me, grades were the most important things in school, and so I had to decide either listen to my body or either choose the grades. And it came so far that I was scared every time I had this subject at the day. I tried to talk my parents that I'm sick. I tried to talk to myself, I'm sick. My body realized that, and I was getting more sick because of it. I like my hands were sweating. My body was like my heart was racing. It was really hard. Yeah, I can't imagine it to go to it again. It's really hard. And like supportive moments, there weren't really many, but sometimes the teacher noticed that something was off. They went with you out and talked about it, but that was really rare that they really noticed it because they couldn't really realize our emotions, what was gone through our head.
Wow, that's also it's a really sad story because it feels like, for example, in physical exercise, it's one of the subjects where one of the most vulnerable subjects because we are exposed like literally with how we look or how we do things. There is a direct comparison, and yeah, it's almost makes me angry that there is like it sounds like there's no sensitivity to to the psychological process that's going on maybe in yes in people in very young age. Yeah. So yeah, thank you for sharing. It's very brave, and um, yes, I think it helps. It helps to share also the state of the art because I I talk about this a lot, about the schooling system and so on. And you know, it's many years gone, but it sounds like nothing really changed. It's like there's no real understanding of a human being, of a how vulnerable we are as this little child. And there's yeah, it's sad because it has such a big impact when you say that you feel this pressure, you don't even want to go there and so on. Yeah, so yeah, I'm sorry that you lived through this. And um do you think, what do you think could help, like what do you think, what do you think we can do to maybe change this, or what could help in school to to make the teachers or the system, I think it's more systematic, probably more aware of that.
I think not only, yeah, as you said, the system should be more understanding to the emotions of kids who are going to grow up as adults. I mean, it's a long progress, and it's a lot of emotions. I think our head is like crazy with like a war in our head. It's really hard to explain, and the teachers, especially because they are grown ups, they should understand more that we are only childrens, and we should they are like, or they should it's hard to explain.
Okay, you can say it in German and I translate. Or
Um, die Lehrer sind ja unser Vorbild.
so the teachers are the I also don't know it. No, they are the like the how do you call it? Yeah, like the examples. So
Yeah,
now I
the
got it. The
examples. Yeah.
examples.
And yes, so I think we should educate the teachers more so they understand us and us childrens, and yeah.
Thank you. Do you have the feeling that the opinion? Do you have the feeling that you are also involved in the teaching process? That you are that you have a say? That you feel respected, or do you think it's very one-sided in school?
So I think most of the time the teachers are like in a higher position, but I don't think it should like that, because we are both humans. We all also have a right to speak up, and the thing is, when we speak up, they always speak back to us and said we can't speak back to them because they are the higher ones, they are the grown ups. But I don't think it should be like this, because I mean we also have a right to speak.
So you feel there's a strong hierarchy still in school?
Yeah. So not in every subject, not every teacher is like this, but there are still some teachers who think like this, and it's really it's annoying.
It's annoying, but it's also, you know, it really, yeah, it's really heavy sometimes to just experience this, or you know, to go to have to be afraid to go in a class with certain teachers. So, mm, and have you ever had a moment where you also like or have you had the feeling that you can also um, share about this, for example, what you said in the physical exercise, were you able to address this also in school, or was this never like then talked about? And yeah.
So we had, I think, every 2 months a speaking with the parents and the teachers. We all came together, so the children's, the parents, and the teachers, um, and we could say what we don't like, and what causes us trouble. And but when I said this, they said, "Yeah, we can take care of this, but you should also don't be so scared of things and like this." And I'm just like, this is my emotions. I can't change that. This is me when I'm scared of things. Yeah, of course I can try to like give bring the anxiety away and do the things, but it's really hard. They need to understand that I'm a child, and I'm just going up, and I have anxiety, and they need to accept this. Yeah.
Yeah, they and also if they say that they maybe should provide tools, maybe how you can do this. Have you ever talked about this in school, about maybe anxiety of before before tests, anxiety, before speaking in front of the class? Was this ever discussed?
So I was always scared of these things, but they never really, they said, today is a presentation, you're gonna do it. And when some of my classmates were so scared that they like thrown up or gone out of the classroom, but they still need to do it. Um, and some teachers were kind and said, okay, then come with me out of the class and we to do it only she listens and like this. But some people, teachers still think you're gonna do it or you're gonna get a bad grade. Either choice. Yeah.
Wow, that's really intense. What do you think a situation like that can do to a child?
Um, I think that the children think then, okay, I need to do every single thing and I don't listen to my body. And they think, okay, nobody cares about my body. It cares about my grade. It cares about how smart I am, and I need to do this. And they just stress themselves, and it's not healthy for the body or the mind.
Yeah, definitely not. So it's really like you have to kind of you learn to disregard what you feel, and you learn that there is some outside thing that you need to kind of achieve because this is the evaluation, and you need to really step over your own boundary and accept just the outside pressure. Yeah, pretty insane, pretty insane. Because yeah, I think we should empower the kids and learn them to trust themselves, learn them to understand themselves better. Do you do you have memories in school where this was taught as well, where you felt self-empowered, where you felt s- people listening to you, where you felt um, that you're learning something about yourself, about life?
It's really sad, but no. Maybe some little moments, but not really. So we never talked about this. It was like a no-go in our school that it's we spoke sometimes a little bit about our emotions, a little bit about we can get support, but it was too less. It was we should have do it more, and I hope they will do it more. And some schools and the school system wakes up and realize it. Okay, we need to do it, but yes.
Yeah, I always said the same things, but nobody believed me because I had the worst grades. I had the worst grades. I was also my behavior, they really didn't like me at school. Like the teachers, they even bullied me. And no one believed me because I couldn't like I had no good grades. But with you, it's very different because you have the best grades. You told me you're the best in your class, or?
Yes, yes, yeah.
What's your average score?
1.07. So it was like, yeah.
1.07. Yes, it's like only once, like ace, like the highest grades.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's.
And what did you get in physical exercise?
I got a A, mm, but it was a really hard progress to get it there. I needed to do things like I needed to dance in front of the whole class so I get a good grade. Yeah,
You needed to dance in front of the
yeah,
whole class.
yeah. Or with some groups who weren't that good in that physical education, and we needed to do a group dance with a song and needed to do it.
So only the people that weren't good
Who wanted
performed in front of everyone else.
who wanted a good grade. Yeah, or we needed to when then she said, yeah, listen, you and you, when you want A or B, you need to, I don't know, run or jog a mile or like do things. And the others didn't do it because they had good grades. And so, yeah.
Wow, it's a very interesting psychological and how do you call it? Um, um, yeah, educational process. Wasn't the word I was looking for. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Darina, so much for giving us some. Like this is not talking back the years. It's like it happened just in like last year, and you know, you're just literally going through this. Um, what do you think this whole thing, the whole school experience, did to you? How would you describe your own state of being now? How would you say you trust yourself? How would you say you trust the world, your opportunities? What did this all did to you so far?
So I think, yeah, the school helped me, of course, because I'm here now, and it gave me good things I can do in the future. But I think when I just look at the bad things, I think I got trust issues. I can't really trust any people. It's really hard for me to trust someone because just because I had these friends who weren't my friends, and I also got most of the time I couldn't sleep. I never cried so much in a time in my life because of school. And yeah, so the school brought me here. I'm here now and I'm really happy for it.
You survived. that's a
Yes,
that's a very good thing. You're
yes.
still.
But it's still really I didn't survive it fully because I still have like things in my mind what I just need to progress. I need to heal for some things. Yes.
Wow, but that's also, honestly, I'm still like, now I'm even again like so impressed by how you can talk about it, by how you can that you are aware of these things, and I think you can really, really, really trust yourself because I don't know, I don't remember ever having a conversation like that with a 14-year-old. That's really, really impressive, and I think you have all, you know, you have everything just inside of yourself, and um, maybe sometimes the outside it cannot acknowledge this, or we doubt ourselves, but honestly, don't do this. You're gonna bring a lot of beautiful things to the world, and
Thank you.
it will not be for nothing. So mm, you also shared some interesting things about with me about your dreams.
Yes.
Do you want to share a little bit? Do you want to
Yeah,
talk about
I
it?
can. Yeah. So, when my parents got divorced, I had a really hard time at sleeping. And one day I slept and I started, when I wake up, I saw like, it's a little bit scary, but I saw a black man always in the corner. And always when I opened my eyes again, I saw him come near to me. And it was really like for a little child, it was traumatizing, and it still haunts me since today. And there was a lot of therapists, a lot of like witches who wanted to help me, and they all couldn't really say. They said maybe it's because my parents got divorced, or maybe some didn't even believe me. My own father didn't believe me. He thought I just say to myself. So I think that, but yes, it's really scary.
Yeah, it seems like it was so scary that also, like also for grown-up people, it can be so difficult to hear these things. And then the easiest thing is that we don't believe it.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Wow. And what age what age was this?
I think it was like when I was 8 to 10. I really had this a long time, and it some days I didn't have it, then some days it came back. But I spent almost my entire childhood always at a therapist or someone who helped me, and they always said to me, "Yeah, maybe it's not a bad person, maybe it's a good person." But the strange thing is that it always happens at my mom's house. So it never happens when I was with my father. It always happens when I was with my mother, and it's really strange. And so my father, of course, didn't believe me because it never happens there.
Yeah.
But maybe because my mother always gave attention to me, she always said, "Yeah, okay, I believe you," and my father didn't. So yeah, I don't know.
What do you think? Like, what do you think it is? If you just speak from your own experience, what do you think it is? Was it like, do you remember it like be as real as sitting on this chair now, or just really honestly?
So I think it was real. I think when back then thought it was a scary man who tried to, I don't know, hurt me. But when I look back, I think maybe it was a good person. Maybe because it always happens at my mom. I don't know. But maybe it has something to do with my mom. I don't know. I don't believe in ghosts, but when this happened, I started to believe something maybe be there. And yes, so I think maybe it was a good ghost who was at my mother and I don't know, protect me or something like this.
So it also never really hurt you then.
No, it didn't. But of course, when I was little, I was scared of this because I mean, a black man in the corner of my room. Maybe I think it's a dead person because my grandmother, so my mother's grandmother, she died early, and I was, as I said at the beginning, I had a lot of lung problems. I was a lot in the hospital, really every year. I think almost a month was I always in the hospital because I had such strong lung problems. And then one day my she died, and I couldn't go to the funeral. And then 2 days back later, I I didn't have anything. The doctor said I'm free. I don't have any pain, nothing. And since then, I didn't have any problems with my lung or anything else. And so I think since then I started to believe it. Maybe it could be her, or I don't know.
Wow, that's really, really, really interesting. And I think, a lot of people also, scientists, doctors, they open up now also from their a little bit, very rigid worldview that there may be things that we cannot really explain and not understand. But I think also in your case, it sounds like the biggest problem was that we don't believe each other. That we think no, you're this is wrong, or you want attention, or you're this is your imagination. We don't actually believe us because it doesn't fit in our in our worldview. And yes, also recently I had a conversation with a doctor, and he was sharing a lot about transgenerational traumas. So, mm, because it was so interesting what you shared with your grandmother, that your lung problem just disappeared when your grandmother died, and it never came back afterwards. Yeah, it's very very interesting.
Yeah, I also I find it at first a little bit strange because I don't know it, but I didn't think it just happened. I think there is a reason behind it. I think for everything is a reason, but yeah, it's really interesting when I look now back at that. Yeah.
Wow. Wow, that's really, really, really interesting. Thank you so much for sharing this. How how did you deal how did you deal with this if this going on for you said for 2 years? How did it impacted you? Um, like what how did it feel when you went to bed, and how did did it sounded like you got some support, so your mother helped you.
So yeah, as I said, there was a lot of therapists. I always had a neighbor who was like dealing with this stuff, like so witch stuff and ghost stuff, and I went like every week to her. But the problem was I couldn't sleep. I went in my bed. I started crying because I was young. I was scared. I didn't know, and I always slept in my mom's bed. And then nothing happened when I slept there because I don't know. I felt safe and things. And then one day it just stopped. I don't know what really happened, but there I was really happy and relieved that it stopped. But it still haunts me since today because I really want to know what happened there, what was that. And sometimes now, even now, I still have when I sleep sometimes bad dreams, or I start sleepwalk. I started walking around when I'm sleeping or talk. Yeah, it's really weird. I don't know.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, honestly, there's just a lot of things that we don't know, and I think the way is not to, yeah, decline this or to put it away or to tell people that it's not true, but I think to stay curious. And yes, I think also these things they drive our lives, and also our interests, our own curiosity, and I think it's really really good things to explore. Did it also help you to write about this, or did you do it?
So since then I couldn't really write there because I didn't learn it. But then I started, and I think these whole dark things, I think it all happened because of that. I think without this, or I wouldn't even be writing. I don't. I think this all caused me to write, and I think that was the purpose. I think that was the reason that I started writing, and I'm really thankful for that because I don't know what I would do when I didn't have to write because yeah, it really helps me. And so I think there are the dark things that because of that I'm writing this because I never looked at like horror movies or something like that. It just happened. I think it's because of that.
Wow, I think that's maybe really what the artistic expression is. You know, we transform things we don't understand, our pains, into something, you know, that's maybe even useful, that's beautiful to the world, where people, yeah, that helps.
Yeah.
How do you think it's possible for yourself that you experienced a lot of difficult things in school, like we didn't even talk about the whole scope of it, but it's very tough, and also in your youth, these really intense physical issues and the divorce. How do you think you can, or why do you think you're still such a nice, beautiful person, and why don't you turn to the dark side and also start like bullying people?
I don't know. Um, I think it were that I talked. I think if I didn't start talking about someone about this, I don't know what then would happen. But when I opened up, I'm just like, I started realizing maybe this all happens for a reason. Maybe um, when it didn't happen, maybe I wouldn't even be here. And I think I started to see that it's not only the bad things. I think I start to see only also the good things. And but I think if I didn't have a person to talk about, I don't even know if I would have gone through it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So it sounds like you're looking very positive into the future.
Yeah, I do. Well, also I have some negative thoughts and I'm a little bit stressed, nervous about what happens next, but I try to stay positive because you should do because it's really good.
Okay, Darina. Is there anything else you would like to share?
Yeah. When you go through the same pain as me or anyone else is going through it, please stay positive. Please talk. As I said, I don't know how often I said talk, but yeah, please talk. Um, and find the right person to talk to, not just some random stranger, because, yeah, and yeah, be happy.
Be happy. I mean, literally, I think this is what everyone wants. Also, people, you know, that hurt other people, I think they also want to be maybe just seen, just heard, and they also want to be happy. You know, I think we all want to be happy, and I think once you realize this, you will also bring, yeah, happiness and beautiful things into their life. Yes. Terina, I'm really deeply inspired and impressed for you. Like honestly, you were scared about talking in English, but it's crazy how yeah, it's crazy how you can express yourself in English, how you can speak just fluently. It's really it's insane. You did you ever do like an exchange semester in somewhere or?
No, I want to, but I never did. I think Uh, so thanks for my English teacher. I think you did a great job, but he also didn't really believe me. So he never thought that I could speak like this. I don't even think that I could speak. I just think because I started it's a little bit funny. I have my mind when I do these things to like what I write about. It's all in English. I write in German, but this all is in English. I don't know why, because it sounds in my mind better and I can better experience it and all. So it's really funny. But yeah, I think because of that, yeah.
Well, yeah, it's really impressive, and also really what you shared, and yeah, just the wisdom. This also allows me now to look really more optimism into the future because I see that there are just amazing, beautiful people out there that go through difficult things, but they don't lose a hope and that still believe in this world and in humanity. So thank you for that. And yes, any last words?
Um, yeah. Have a good day. Have a good life. Stay positive, and yeah. Um,
Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Darina. And yeah, we go now to the mystical pyramid in the Waldviertel. Have a beautiful day. Amazing. Amazing. Please. Yeah.